Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question right out of the gating. What if the only thing standing between you and millions is how you think, your background, not your education, not your family, not even your circumstances? They just strengthen your mindset. Now that might sound simple, but simple and easy are not the same thing. Most people aren't broke because they're lazy. They're broke because they've been trained, programmed to think like broke people. You can't expect wealthy results with a poverty mindset. Your mindset determines your money. This truth is both simple and profound, yet often overlooked by people who are stuck in financial struggle. The reason so many individuals remain trapped in cycles of scarcity isn't because of external limitations, but because of internal agreements they've made with lack. What you believe about yourself, about money, and about what's possible for your life will shape every financial outcome you experience. If you think money is hard to get, you'll never find it easy to earn. If you think wealth is reserved for other people, then you've already disqualified yourself from receiving it. Everything starts in the mind. You're like software that runs silently in the background, directing your actions, decisions, and results. Most people are operating with outdated programming, scripts they inherited from parents, teachers, or code that told them money is evil, rich people are greedy, or that success only comes with struggle and stress. These ideas take root early, often in childhood, and grow into mental strongholds that choke the potential for wealth before it even has a chance to take shape. The person who believes they were born to prosper will behave differently than the person who believes they are destined to lack. One will walk in expectation, the other in hesitation. One will invest in opportunities, the other will fear every risk. One will look at money as a tool, the other will see it as a trap. This isn't about intelligence or even talent. Two people can have the same skill, same education, and same background, but end up with completely different financial outcomes based solely on how they think. Mindset doesn't just influence money, it attracts or repels it. If your subconscious believes you don't deserve wealth, you will self-sabotage the moment you get close to it. You'll procrastinate, you'll underprice your services, you'll avoid visibility, or you'll make decisions rooted in fear instead of faith. The poverty mindset is always waiting to whisper, who do you think you are? But the abundance mindset declares, I was created for more. Changing your financial situation begins with changing your thoughts. This isn't just positive thinking. This is a full renewal of how you perceive yourself and the world around you. When you upgrade your thinking, you elevate your capacity to earn, receive, and manage money wisely. A millionaire mindset doesn't just chase income, it multiplies impact. It looks at money as a byproduct of value, not as something to chase for its own sake. When your mind is right, your actions follow. You begin to take bold steps. They speak with confidence and show up with a presence that commands attention. You no longer shrink to fit other people's comfort zones. You stop apologizing for your ambition. You stop second-guessing your worth. You start building instead of begging, creating instead of complaining, leading instead of waiting. There's a reason why lottery winners who lack a wealth mindset often lose it all within a few years, because they received something their internal world wasn't equipped to sustain. Without the mindset of stewardship, vision, and growth, the even millions will evaporate. On the other hand, someone with the right mindset can lose it all and read because their wealth was never just in their bank account. It was in their mind. Your mind is the factory. Your beliefs are the blueprint, and your results are the product. You can only withdraw from your life what you first deposited into your thinking. You can't earn beyond what you believe. This principle governs every area of financial increase, yet it often goes unnoticed in the pursuit of wealth. People try to earn more by learning new skills, working harder, or switching careers. But if their internal belief system is locked in limitation, their income will hit a ceiling every single time. It doesn't matter how many opportunities they have access to. If they subconsciously believe they're only worth a certain amount, they will never earn more than that amount. That belief will quietly dictate every decision, every negotiation, and every risk they're willing to take. Belief acts as a thermostat. If your financial thermostat is set at $50,000 a dollar, you might temporarily spike above it with a bonus or a side hustle, but your habits, mindset, and comfort zone will eventually bring you back that internal set point. On the other hand, if your belief system says you are a six-figure or seven-figure person, your actions and expectations will rise to meet that standard, and you'll find ways to earn, create, and serve at that level. Your income will eventually match your identity. This isn't about arrogance. It's not about pretending or wishing for wealth. It's about internal alignment. What you believe about your value, your potential, and your capacity to produce directly influences what you attract and what you allow. If you believe money is hard to earn, you'll resist opportunities that look too easy. If you believe rich people are selfish, you'll hesitate to become one. If you believe you're not smart enough, talented enough, or connected enough, they'll stay stuck, even if you have everything you need to succeed. People often try to increase their income without ever increasing their self-worth. But earning is always connected to believing. That's why two people can be in the same room, hear the same opportunity, and respond completely differently. One sees limitation, the other sees leverage. One says, I can't. The other says, I will. The difference isn't opportunity. It's the internal narrative each person is carrying. One believes they're capable, worthy, and positioned to win. The other doubts their value and stays small to avoid failure or rejection. This belief barrier shows up everywhere in pricing, in business growth, in salary negotiations, and leadership roles. If you don't believe you're worth more, you won't ask for more. You'll undercharge, undervalue, and over-aliver, hoping that someone else will affirm your worth instead of owning it yourself. You'll second-guess your offers, delay launching your ideas, and watch others pass you by while you stay in the corner of comfort and self-doubt. But belief is not just a feeling, it's a decision. It's something you choose and reinforce every day. What you speak, what you study, they see the who you surround yourself with. You have to intentionally rewire your thinking and reject the lies that have kept you earning beneath your potential. They see the strength of that. That means confronting limiting beliefs you've carried for years, beliefs that were passed down to you, not to created to scrape by. You weren't made to settle. You were designed to multiply. Until your belief system matches the level of income you say you want, you will continue to sabotage your own progress. You'll hesitate instead of execute. You'll shrink back instead of step up. You'll focus on survival instead of strategy. Your financial breakthrough won't come from more hustle. It will come from deeper belief. When you change how you see yourself, everything else starts to shift. Your confidence grows. Your decisions become more decisive. You stop asking for permission and start walking in purpose. Or wealth flows to those who solve big problems. That's not just a business principle. It's a universal law. Money moves in direct proportion to the value you create, and value is determined by the size, urgency, and impact of the problems you are willing and able to solve. The wealthiest people on the planet didn't get there by accident. They got there because they found a problem that a lot of people had, figured out how to solve it, and made that solution accessible at scale. The money followed the value, not the other way around. The average person spends their life trying to earn more money without understanding the source of money. Money is not just paper or digital numbers. It is a certificate of appreciation that the marketplace gives you in exchange for the problems you solve. The better you are at identifying and solving high-value problems, the more money you will make. If you're not earning what you want to earn, it's not because money is scarce. It's because the problem you are solving isn't significant enough, or you're not communicating the value of that solution effectively. Small problems equal small paychecks. Large problems equal large paychecks. If you're only solving problems that anybody can solve, problems that don't require creativity, leadership, or specialized knowledge, then you're going to stay in a low-income bracket. But when you rise to a level where you're solving problems that are complex, painful, or deeply desired by a group of people who are willing to pay, your income increases accordingly. You don't need to chase clients or opportunities. You become the opportunity. This is why mindset matters. People with a scarcity mindset focus on their own problems, how to pay the bills, how to survive, how to get through the week. People with an abundance mindset focus on solving other people's problems. They understand that income is the result of impact. The more people they serve, the more they earn. They aren't focused on what they lack. They're focused on what they can give. That shift in focus is what positions them for wealth. Every industry is built on problem solving. Healthcare solves health problems. Technology solves efficiency problems. Education solves knowledge problems. Coaching solves clarity problems. Entertainment even solves boredom problems. The market rewards those who solve problems with excellence, empathy, and effectiveness. If you want more income, you must increase your capacity to solve real problems for real people in real time. You must become a student of the problem, not just a seller of the product. Entrepreneurs especially must understand that the business is not the product. The business is the problem it solves. Too many people fall in love with what they do instead of who they serve. But the path to wealth is through service, not self-interest. When you obsess over your audience's pain points, frustrations, desires, and fears, you gain insight that becomes power. That insight allows you to create solutions that hit the target and change lives. And that's what creates momentum in the marketplace. You don't have to be a genius or invent something brand new to become wealthy. You just have to get really good at identifying underserved problems and solving them with excellence. You have to be willing to do what others ignore, delay, or underestimate. You have to bring creativity, strategy, and consistency to the way you show up. You must be a person of value, not just someone who wants to be valued. The more value you deliver, the more income you'll experience. The greater the transformation you produce for others, the greater the reward that flows back to you. Time-based income limits your potential. Trading hours is the model most people are taught from childhood. Go to school, get a good job, work hard, and get paid based on how much time you give. The problem is, time is a limited resource. Everyone gets the same 24 hours in a day, and no matter how hard you work, you can never multiply your time. If your income is tied directly to your time, then your earning potential is automatically capped. You're stuck inside a system that pays you for your presence, not your performance, and certainly not your potential. This is why so many hardworking people still struggle financially. They're doing everything they were told to do, showing up, working long hours, sacrificing weekends, but they're stuck in a model that cannot produce wealth. It can produce stability, it can produce predictability, but it cannot produce freedom. Time-based income means your stops the moment you stop working. If you get sick, take a vacation, or want to spend more time with your family, your income stops flowing. That's not financial independence. That's income dependence. Wealthy people don't rely on linear income. They build leveraged income. They understand that if you want exponential results, you need to decouple your income from your time. This is why business ownership, investing, digital products, real estate, and licensing are common vehicles for those who want to build wealth. These models allow you to create once and get paid over and over again. They allow you to scale your efforts, multiply your impact. They see the strength of and continue earning even when you're not actively working. Time is a seed, not a harvest. When you sow your time into creating something of lasting value, of course, a program, a book, a system, a brand, you build an asset. That asset can generate income for you while you sleep, while you travel, or while you serve in other capacities. You move from being an employee of your time to being an owner of your outcomes. This shift changes everything. It changes the way you think, the way you plan, and the way you prioritize your efforts. Most people are stuck in time for money thing because it feels safe. It's familiar, but it's also fragile. One job loss, one economic shift, or one unexpected event can wipe out that income stream instantly. Leveraged income, on the other hand, creates resilience. It diversifies your income sources. It gives you the ability to earn through systems, not just through your sweat. And it forces you to focus on building something bigger than yourself. There's also a deeper principle at play here: multiplication versus addition. Time-based income is addition. You add hours, you add shifts, you add clients. The hope for a raise. Levered income is multiplication. You build a model that duplicates, replicates, and scales. Whether it's a product that sells globally, a team that operates without you, or a strategy that works 247 online, you're now participating in multiplication, which is the language of wealth. You have to move from labor to leverage. Labor says, I'll do more. Leverage says, I'll build more. Labor says, they see the strength of ours. Leverage says, I need better systems. The people who build wealth are not working more hours than everyone else. They are working on the right things during the hours they have. They are investing their time into assets, not just tasks. They are building platforms, not just paychecks. Your time is valuable, but it is not scalable. You must start thinking beyond the hour and start thinking in terms of assets, value, and legacy. When you make this shift, you stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like a creator. You begin to see opportunities for automation, delegation, and innovation. You stop asking how much something pays and start asking how much it can grow. Purpose-driven alignment creates overflow. When your actions, intentions, and vision align with a greater purpose, you activate a flow of resources, opportunities, and favor that cannot be explained by strategy alone. Too often, people chase success as a goal, disconnected from their deeper reason for being. They pursue money, recognition, or influence, but because it's not rooted in purpose, they experience burnout, frustration, and inconsistency. But when purpose becomes the foundation, everything shifts. Work becomes meaningful, goals become magnetic, and results move beyond effort into a realm of overflow. Overflow doesn't come from striving. It comes from alignment. You can hustle and grind and still come up empty if you're building outside of your design. But when you step into the lane you were born to walk in, things begin to accelerate. You no longer have to force open doors. They open because they recognize you. Purpose makes your presence powerful. It positions you to serve with authenticity, confidence, and clarity. That kind of energy draws people, attracts provision, and multiplies your impact. Alignment means that what you believe, what you say, and what you do are all going in the same direction. It means that your values and your business strategy are not in conflict. It means that your goals are not what you want to get, but what you're here to give. When those elements are aligned, your life and business become a channel, not just a container. You're not holding on to resources. You're allowing them to flow through you into the lives of others. This is why some people can work less and earn more, not because they're lucky, but because they are aligned. They are operating in their assignment. They are doing what they were uniquely created to do in the way only they can do it. That kind of alignment carries its own momentum. It carries its own authority. It causes you to walk differently, speak differently, and show up in spaces with a confidence that isn't based on ego, but on purpose. You can be talented and still be misaligned. You can be successful by the world's standards and still feel empty. Purpose-driven alignment doesn't just change what you do. It changes how and why you do it. It causes you to build not just for profit, but for legacy. It calls you to excellence. They see the strength that because you understand that what you're doing is bigger than you. It's not just about making a sale or hitting a number. It's about fulfilling a calling. When you're aligned with your purpose, even your problems serve you. Challenges become training. Delays become preparation. Rejection becomes redirection. You stop seeing obstacles as proof that you're off track and start recognizing them as part of the refinement process. Purpose makes your journey make sense, even when it's hard. It gives your pain context and your progress meaning. Overflow is not just about financial abundance. It's about fullness in every area of life. It's when your work feeds your spirit, your relationships reflect your values, and your influence creates real transformation. It's the result of living and working in sync with something greater than personal ambition. Purpose creates a magnetic field around your life. People are drawn to your authenticity. Partners are drawn to your vision. Clients are drawn to your clarity. And opportunities are drawn to your integrity. When you're in alignment, your message becomes sharper, your brand becomes stronger, and your execution becomes cleaner. You stop chasing trends and start building timeless solutions. You stop copying others and start leading from your unique voice. You no longer hustle to be seen. You serve to be effective. Everything you touch carries weight because it comes from the core of who you are, not a borrowed version of someone else's success formula. Transformation precedes manifestation. Before anything changes on the outside, it has to be restructured on the inside. Most people wait for their external world to shift before they change their internal world. But that's not how true success works. You don't manifest abundance by chance. You manifest it by becoming the kind of who can carry it. Manifestation is the byproduct of transformation. The money, the opportunities, the relationships, the impact, they all show up in response to who you become, not just what you want. Desire alone doesn't create results. Discipline, mindset, and identity do. If your vision is bigger than your habits, you'll never realize it. If your goals outpace your growth, you'll sabotage them. That's why so many people start strong but stall quickly. They try to build $1 million life on a $10 mindset. They set goals that are inconsistent with the version of themselves they're currently operating as. Until you transform into a person who thinks, decides, and acts like the future you, your manifestations will remain stuck at the level of your old identity. Transformation is internal work. It's the rewiring of belief systems, the reconditioning of emotional responses, the breaking of patterns that no longer serve the life you're building. It's not glamorous and it's rarely instant. It requires honesty, consistency, and courage. You have to confront the lies you've believed about money, about your worth, about your limitations, and replace them with truth. Until you do that, every time success starts to show up, your subconscious will push it away because you haven't yet become the version of you who is ready to receive it. Manifestation without transformation leads to instability. That's why people win the lottery and lose it within years. The money showed up. They see the strength of but the mindset didn't. The life change didn't. The resources came, but the stewardship hadn't been developed. True transformation prepares you to sustain what shows up. It creates the capacity for growth, the wisdom to manage success, and the humility to keep learning even when things are going well. Everything you want already exists. It's not about chasing it. It's about becoming aligned with it. That alignment happens when your thoughts, your energy, your habits, and your vision are in agreement. When that happens, doors open that used to be locked. Connections come that used to feel out of reach. Your energy attracts different rooms. You start moving with authority instead of anxiety, with confidence instead of confusion. You no longer need to force success. You're a match for it. Transformation is not just mindset. It's identity. They see the strength of it. It's just about thinking differently. It's embodying different. It's about embodying a new standard, speaking with more authority, walking in more discipline, showing up with more clarity. You don't attract what you want. You attract who you are. The version of you that's aligned with your highest potential doesn't settle, doesn't apologize for being excellent, and doesn't shrink to make others comfortable. That version of you makes decisions faster. They trust more deeply and moves more intentionally. The path to manifestation is not paved with hustle, it's paved with healing. When you heal the beliefs that tell you're not enough, when you break the cycles that keep you small, they see the strength of them. When you release the guilt around having more, you start to operate from a wholeness instead of lack. That shift in energy changes what you pursue, what you accept, and what you create. It changes what you expect from life. It raises the standard of how you live, work, and serve. The truth is nothing changes until you do. You don't need more luck. You don't need more connections. You don't need another strategy. You need to become the version of yourself who is ready for the life you've been asking for. Once that version is in place, manifestation becomes inevitable. It's not magic, it's alignment. The fruit will always match the root. The outside will always reflect the inside. The life you want is on the other side of who you're willing to become.